So then, Rally Islas Canarias, let's have a bit of a talk about this. Let's talk about round 4 of the WRC season and all of the headlines that have come with it. Firstly, that was an utterly dominant drive by Carlos Rivera there. Won all but, 3 stages over the course of the event? The 2 super specials and then the penultimate test. It was absolutely wonderful. Whether or not it was the circuit racing that he's been doing over the past year or so that has helped him out is another matter entirely. But the guy who was absolutely unbeatable when it came to using the hybrids in the WRC has shown that he's great on tarmac whether or not he has a hybrid unit in the car. That's been his drive of the season, absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt. But it was dominant for Toyota as well. It's hard to believe that Toyota, coming into the Saturday, were locking out the top 5. In fact, halfway through the Saturday, they were still locking out the top 5. It was only when Sami Pajari had his issue and crashed out of 4th place that they weren't holding the top 5, but they still held on to the top 4, and quite comprehensively as well. The top Hyundai at the end of the event was Adrian Fourmeau, 2 minutes 31 off of the winning time. Tänak was 3 minutes 11 back, would have been 3 minutes had it not been for the 10-second penalty he had to take, whilst Neville with his puncher was 3:40 off of the win. It was just a dominant display by Carlos Rivera and by Toyota in the top class of WRC more generally. A moment that stood out in Rally 1's was Tänak's 10-second penalty, because it wasn't for jumping a start, it wasn't for being too early or too late to a stage, it was for a service park issue. Tänak was having fuel pickup issues, they were talking about this in the broadcast, and rather than just changing that one component, the Hyundai mechanics decided the safest bet was to change the whole engine. In a 45-minute service park interval, they did it in 46. That 1 minute being late equated to a 10-second time penalty, but that is incredibly impressive, is it not? In a complex Rally 1 car, these cars have been valued at up to €1 million. They were able to change the engine in just over 45 minutes. In the Rally 2 class, and 30 cars made it to the end classified. Johan Rosell was not as dominant as Carlos Rivera, but similarly competitive in the way that he dominated the event, winning by 30 seconds over Alejandro Cachon, the local star, with Boya Rosada, Dani Sordo's former co-driver, alongside. It was a Citroen winning with a Toyota in second place, 29.5 seconds back. Now, Lea Rosell was also competitive, but crashed out late on Saturday as well. But Johan's younger brother, the French tarmac champion, did still compete very well over the course of the event. Nikolai Gryajan, who dominated Rally Sierra Morena in the ERC only a couple of weeks ago, was third place. Now, he had a couple of issues over the course of the event, but the pace wasn't there when it came to contending with Rosell. But it's still a great performance by Gryajan. Remember, Gryajan winning in Sierra Morena was on Michelin-shod rubber, whilst this time around it's the Hancocks that are spec for the WRC. The top 5 is rounded out by Efren Lorena, who did really well to get a top 5 in the event. It was 2 minutes off the win, but it is still really good for the owner driver, who, again, moving across to Hancocks for the event. I think he's usually on Pirellis, isn't he? Whilst another home driver in Diego Loba was rounding out the top 5. The top 10 in RC2, and I say RC2 because that's just the Rally 2 cars, was Emil Lindholm, Roberto Dapra, who is still performing really well with the Rally 2 machinery. I believe was running a Rally 2 Evo pre-RS Fabia. Then the top 10 rounded out by Oliver Solberg, who's not scoring for WRC2 here, but had a transmission issue that put him down into 8th, was running relatively around the top 5. Jörg Linnemer and Jan Cherney rounding out that top 10. I believe the top 10 in WRC2 would be rounded out by Diego Dominguez, who was nearly 6 minutes off the winning time with a Toyota GR Yaris Rally 2. In WRC3, Mathieu Chatillon ended up picking up quite a comfortable win over Arthur Pellemurg. Pellemurg, who was the winner in Monte Carlo, was 28.1 seconds off of the win in this event, with Giovanni Rossi making it an all-French podium, 1 minute 37 off the winning time. Top 5 being rounded out by the 2 next-gen Toyota Gazoo Racing drivers, Takumi Matsushita and Shotaro Goto, respectively. Igor Vidwak rounded out the people who I believe didn't take a notional time, because Perez's daughter was in 7th place, another 8 minutes off of Vidwak, who was 11.5 minutes off of the win, whilst Nathaniel Brun rounded out the running order with a Super Rally. Now with the other drivers, Martin Marrero won RC4 over Martin Gil, or Gil Martin even, sorry, by minute 58, with Nikolai Gutig in 3rd place, 2 minutes off the win, whilst in RC5, Hernandez made it to the end of the event, and as a result wins RC5 for the WRC here at Rally Islas Canarias, though RC5 doesn't get its own championship scoring. So those are the main stories that I've picked up over the course of the event. Let me know your thoughts and feelings about the event at Rally Islas Canarias. I really enjoyed watching it. It's great to have this event in the WRC. I'm looking forward to seeing what they do for the 50th edition next year. So let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Thank you so much for watching and joining as always. And until next time, it's bye-bye for now.